what's up, everybody? Welcome, one and all, and thank you for joining us on CrowCast episode 61. Hope you're all well, Crow family. What a special guest we got for you tonight. Mr. Brian Tatler will be joining us very shortly to talk about his life as well as his musical career with Diamond Head. Cannot wait for that. What do you think of that, Rono?
Fantastic, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Can't wait. His stories are fantastic. I've been following him on the Diamond, their page, their main Facebook page. It's brilliant. So I don't want to spoil anything. I was going to just start to talk about it then. I'm like, oh, I'll wait for him to come on. And I'm sure he can tell us some of those tales,
Absolutely, but incredible. Cannot wait for those stories.
Yeah, man. Also, a bit of a weird weekend for me, buddy. I don't normally watch it, but it was one of those where the wife wanted to watch the Eurovision. We're either gigging or away, or I make some excuse not to watch it. But yeah, it was very interesting, put it that way. It ended up being an entertaining night, to be honest. It was enjoyable because it was just so bizarre. It was... it was. Did you watched a little bit of it as well?
Yeah. I watched a bit of it. It's just incredible how much the Europeans hate us.
Yeah.
I didn't even get around to hearing the UK song, to be honest. I don't know what it's like, but was it worth it? Nil point?
It depends what you're rating it on, because I'm just showing you some of those pictures, brother. As you've seen, it was pretty kind of wild and boisterous, and it was a bit of an out there show. They were funny, man. They were like, I think my favorite quote was the chess club on acid. It was just like was bizarre. It was just bizarre. So I don't know. It depends what you're rating it on. I didn't particularly enjoy the UK entrant. I just thought it was all right. It was just like, was it worth not having any points at all without all the political thing? If we're gonna kind of, I don't know. I thought everyone else was kind of more wacky, and it was like watching a kids program, like if you're on LSD or something.
Yeah.
It's like, So if I was like rating it on as in humor and entertainment, obviously this was Iceland, I think, or someone will correct me in the chat room and stuff. They were entertaining because it was just so bizarre. And then you see this dude come on with a glittery uke, and you're a bit like, all right, he gets top points in my book if we're going for wild.
To be honest, it wasn't the glittery uke that sold me on that photo. It was the person dressed up as a hand, a palm.
Yeah. Which I noticed, like one of the pictures going around, I think one of the fingers dropped or something, so you've just got the one. Oh, it was great, man. But yeah, it was like I said, there's a lot of people who hate it, a lot of people who avoid it. It was just something different. It's that whole like COVID trip for me where I've done or taken part in stuff I would never do, so I really enjoyed spending a night with the missus, and we were just laughing. We were just laughing constantly, and I was really trying to understand, like, is this serious now? Is this like, and there's a lot of I was looking at a lot of the Crow family were writing. She was on form, so I was kind of following her on Facebook. She's obviously every year she follows it, but there was a lot of glitter. There was a lot of a lot of glittery sparklies going off, and like you are looking at some of them and you're thinking, like, did you see how pissed that Switzerland guy, because he thought he had it in a bag, I think Rick Astley kind of
you know what they kept going to him, didn't they? And they was talking about how excited he was leading money all the time.
Yeah, smiling away, and he's like, oh, and he's like, yes, brilliant, and blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden, then you start seeing the points getting sucked out. You watch his face dropping. So it was little moments like that where I was like, I don't know. And I watched that Eurovision thing on Netflix. So there was a little bit of that going
with Will Ferrell. I love that film. I love it.
So there's a little bit of that going on in my head of thinking, like, some of them are friends, some of them hate that country, do you know what I mean? So it's like, it was really wacky, dude. But it was just it was a different way to spend your Saturday night. Would I do it again? I don't know. But would I do it with a gang of people? Like if we weren't on the road or something, yeah, I'd probably do some sort of drinks night and play a drinking game or something. Or, it was it really was fun. It was just bizarre and wacky, it was just great entertainment.
But did he come from nowhere though, didn't they? Because they were nowhere near, because it was Switzerland and France, was they the top two for ages?
Yeah.
And then the public voted and they just blew everyone away in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few people were like, "Oh, the Crows should go on it." Absolutely no. I was trying to be political on the old Facebook, but I was thinking, no. But there are a few bands who have been suggested out of the scene, out the rock scene. I thought they would do great. If they're going for the gimmicky kind of thing as well, and the outrageous, like what they call Bootyard Bandits. Somebody said and I can see it, you know what I mean? Because they got the cowboy thing going with the cactuses, and I reckon that'd be fun. And there's a lot more talent, let's be honest. I have seen something about Bill Bailey might do it next year.
That'd be brilliant.
I think he was tamping because we haven't had any points for a couple of years or something. He was like, right, that's it. I'll do next year, so
like a rock metal thing, like he does.
Yeah. It'd be entertaining, wouldn't it? But it was just bizarre. Like I said, it's not for everybody, but that's how I spent my kind of weekend. And then obviously yesterday, the Crows got together and we had a fantastic outing, didn't we?
Well, some of us did, eh?
Aye.
Some of us got in a right state last night, Crow family. Some of us,
yes,
we were very
ladies and
lucky.
gentlemen, boys and girls, we got picked up yesterday in a tour van, which we haven't been in, which some of us said, oh my God, it's been like 18 months since we were in a tour van, which is quite frightening. Because even though we went over to Germany in the pandemic, we kind of went in a minibus and then we got flown over. So we actually went in a tour van. We got taken to Tembe for the day, didn't we, Shane?
We did. And we went down to Tembe Brewery, brewingco.com. There we are.
Oh,
because we've got a new beer.
That is right. Whoa, look at that blink of an IPA.
There it is. West Coast IPA. This West Coast IPA packs a punch. Expect resinous pine and citrus notes from a generously dry hop with West Coast hop headliners Chinook, Cascade, and Centennial. I got it wrong. There's a satisfying bitter punch on the end, so you'll want to crack open another one straight away. 5% volume. It's an easy drinking West Coast blink of an IPA. Looks beautiful.
Oh, it was beautiful, mate. And the guys looked after us. It was incredible to go down there, see their setup, which was quite monstrous. And then settle in, have quite a few beers. And they're a company that we are familiar with. We've ordered off them in the past. And it was just great. And it's just lovely to add that now to the collection.
That's it. And if you want to get yours, you can by going to tembebrewingco.com. There it is, all the information at the bottom of the screen. You can go and order your can now. It's absolutely beautiful.
It is fantastic. Looking forward to the feedback on that. A lot of people said that they wanted a different kind of beer, so we've gone different. And yeah, man, it was just great to be with you and the boys yesterday. It was real fun. This is something as well that's already we're in that's going to be going straight into the shops, which is straight off the bat is fantastic news. It will be heading towards craft bars. If there's anybody out there who would like to see us stocked in their club or their local beer shop or anything like that, hit us up, give us a message, and we can pass on the information. Because fair play to the guys at Tembe, they've got straight on it, and it's actually getting out. There will be more news on it because I think it's actually going to be on tap in a few places as well, which we were blown away with that yesterday. So yeah, exciting, mate.
It is. And it's just so easy to drink, isn't it? We couldn't believe it. We cracked it open, sat down round the table like that photo there. You can see how happy Dave is. Dave is literally in heaven. Look at his eyes. He's like, you don't know what
Yeah.
these euro come on, go in. Loving life, but look at him. He's like a little giggly child.
Yeah, it was just fab. Like I said, sat down with the guys, explained how everything was made, the whole process. And then we were seeing the thousands of Blink of an IPA canned yesterday, which was incredible. As they were coming off the line, you were just seeing thousands just canned. And then hearing all the plans with themselves and management was just really exciting now to start getting it to the next level, like, you know. So
yeah.
So yeah, man.
The bus ride home was enjoyable too, Ron.
Well, the bus ride home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely different. That was massive shout out to Van Morrison's for looking after us. And yes, it was very, very. It was a different ride home. Let's be honest. It was a very different ride home.
From Bridgend to Tenby is literally an hour. It took us 2 hours and 15 minutes to get home.
That's right. About 2 hours. I wouldn't know the time, and I wouldn't know how long, if I'm honest. Oh, there we are. There we are. I was kind of in and out of consciousness. I was kind of, you know, when I opened, all of that vibe, like, you know. So I have no idea how long it took to get home. I have no idea how I got home. Yes. And I've had to cancel all my cards because I lost my wallet as well. There we are.
Yes.
What a day out. What a smashing day out with the Crows.
There's some stories there, not quite for CrowCast. Maybe one day. But when we're back on the road, if you want to know what happened, I'll be ready to tell you everything.
That's why we need a Patreon, but we do need a Patreon just to release the footage.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely, I wouldn't want to see it, to be honest. It's horrendous. So there we are. But fun was had. Fun. And then a busy day today as well. We've been doing some exciting stuff behind the scenes, which you'll all see and hear that very, very soon. And then a busy day with massive hangovers, get the vitamins down now, straight home, and it's CrowCast, and we have a fantastic guest who is waiting in the wings. Shall we get into it?
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome guitarist and songwriter for Diamond Head, a legend, Mr. Brian Tatler.
Hello.
Hey, how are we, Brian?
I'm all right, thank you. Let's have a look.
Good man. So where are you about right now? Is it at home?
Yes, I'm at home. Ronnie and Shane, how are you doing?
We're very good,
well,
thank you,
mate.
buddy.
Very well.
Are you at home as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Bridgend,
Well, there's not much else we can do. Is at the moment, you know, while we can't tour and we can't be gigging or recording or anything. So all we can do really is stop at home and, you know, like you say, go to the pub maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that was our first time yesterday, Brian, for as a band. I think the last time, actually, cheekily, we went over to Rock Palace to do a show over there. So that's the last time we've kind of had a beer together, where we were able to have a beer together as a band. But yeah, yesterday was like the first time, and it's just mad how you miss it. And that, like I said, that unit when you're all together, the banter, the being in the van together, you know, it was magical. It was like, you know.
Yes, it is. It's like a family after a while, isn't it? A group. You know, you go through so many adventures together, and you know, you never lose, you know, contact with. Well, I suppose some people do, but you know, it is great to go and have a drink or two with your bandmates when you can, when you know, when there's no pressure on and you can just chill out and relax.
Exactly, mate. I mean, I've known Ronnie since I was a kid. Myself, Ronnie, and Shiner went to school together. So that background, it's not just the band; it's your mates. You know what I mean?
It's your mates. Yeah, if you can stick together, you know, for like through thick and thin, you know, you'll always be supportive of each other. You'll kind of do anything for each other, which is a lovely feeling to have.
Yeah. Ronnie needed us yesterday, big time.
I I think I needed anybody, absolutely anybody. But yeah, no, it was so much fun. Like I said, it was just exactly like I just said to you then. It was that being back on the road with the boys, you know, planning the next phase if everything starts, fingers crossed,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, going the right way. And just moments, you know, besides when you have to get up and you have to go to the toilet and you have to put the mask back on. And then I think that's when you start to realize, oh yeah, it's still serious. You're still in this. But that moment when you're around a bench and obviously, like I said, the van, it's just normal. It's just what we need as, you know, we're British. So that's kind of part of our life, you know, that community of going out, going to the pub, just having social days out, like.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well,
Somebody's sent a question here, haven't they? Debbie Turner.
Yep.
Shall I answer this question?
Please do.
Yeah.
I don't know who Debbie Turner is, but anyway, hello, Debbie. Funnily enough, I do meet up with Colin and Duncan, who were the original guys. We've remained friends for 50 years, and we go for a curry. In fact, we're trying to organise a curry now in Stourbridge because, of course, you can go back out to restaurants and that, can't you? So just got to agree on a date, and that's great. I mean, there are guys who I don't see. There's a couple of guys who've come and gone over the years that I don't see anymore. I'm sure, there's no bad blood or ill feeling, but because Colin and Duncan still live within about 2 or 3 miles of each other, it's easy enough to see those guys, and we get on great. I've known them since school days, a bit like you guys. Can you imagine you guys in 50 years' time going for a curry? It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love that, and we love going for a curry up your way as well, because it's just so much better than down here.
Yeah, better, aren't they? Yeah. Some great curry houses around the Midlands.
Oh, it's fantastic. How have you been, mate, through all this madness over the last 18 months?
Don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want it to. I wish it did, all go away. It's been horrible, hasn't it? The virus and people worried about, dying and catching it and all that. So I've had both my jabs now, so I feel, protected. But it's still weird to have to wear the mask when you go out. And I've very often, gone to the shops, and then halfway there I think, oh, I haven't got a mask, and you have to walk all the way back and. And then go and get a mask and all that. I'm not in the habit of it almost yet. But yeah, I've hated it. Been stuck in, not being able to see friends, not being able to go to the pub or go on holiday or anything. I've hated it. But what I did decide to do when it happened last March was I thought, okay, well, this is the perfect opportunity to write songs at home. I've got a little studio. Just sort of woodshed, knuckle down and use the time constructively. That's what I thought. So I probably spent 12 months doing that, really. I didn't know what else to do. I practice every day anyway. So come up with a riff or go through my tapes, and I put together loads and loads of stuff for what will be a new Diamond Head album one day when we can,
So you've written that amount of song, an album's worth.
Oh, yeah. There's got to be over 20 ideas,
Fantastic.
So it'll be a matter of fighting over which ones make the album, really, because it'll only be like 9 or 10 because the length, and it'll just be. I think it's lovely to have choice. The more the merrier. You hear about people like. Bruce Springsteen will write 50 or 60 songs for an album, and then the quality is going to be so much better, isn't it? If you say, these are the best. So rather than just write 10 songs, I'd much rather write 25 and be picky.
Yeah, absolutely. Does the songwriting sort of aspect of things, does it always come from you, the spark, the idea, the creative side of it, and then it gets evolved?
Mainly, the musically, I'll try and come up with the riffs. Diamond Head's a kind of riff-based band, so I'll try and come up with a good riff and then build from there. Sometimes somebody else comes up with the riff, or sometimes I co-write and I might come up with the verse and somebody else might come up with the chorus, things like that. but I suppose because I'm, you know, the original member and all that, I've got that Diamond Head sort of, what's the word, you know, I hope it all sounds a bit like Diamond Head, really. I hope I'm that connection and keep the flame alive, you know, keep the style together, you know, that we don't wander off and end up sounding like, you know, Metallica.
Well, they want to be you. Well, that's what
ain't that weird? How does that work?
Yeah, how does that feel, mate? How does that feel, Brian? I mean,
Always a question here from Dave Bonney. Hi, Brian. How old were you when you co-wrote Am I Evil? No, 19. We were all 19, which is a young age to. Yeah, no, and we went in and recorded the first album in about March, I think, 1980, and yeah, we were all about 19, so very young. I mean, we probably didn't even realise that that's quite young for a band to be writing and making albums and stuff. But so be it. You know, it's better if you're young. I mean, you're hot property if you're young and you've got an album's worth of material. Surely better than waiting until you're 27 or something, isn't
it? Yeah. Can you remember the first song you wrote, Brian?
Sort of. The band, it's formed by myself and Duncan, and before we had a singer, we used to play together anyway and make up these awful little dirges, just drums and guitar. And then Sean came along, and he would then sing on top of them. And we did have a song called something like Going East, and there was one called Pits of Hell, and they were just very simple, like almost like one finger on the fretboard, little riffs, and we'd just record them onto cassette, and we wrote lots and lots and lots of songs like that, just straight onto cassette. A lot of it in my bedroom when I lived with my parents, and it just grew. You know, we got good at writing through analysing our little home cassette demos, you know, of our songs. We wrote a lot of songs. I always say by the time we went into the studio for Lightning to the Nations in 1980, we'd written about 100 songs. So again, we had a lot of choice, a lot of songs to pick from, you know, and we played a lot of them live. So we were ready, you know.
Yeah. So what age were we talking about that first song when you and Duncan?
Sorry, what was that?
What age were you? When you went
16. I formed the band 1976, and we were all 16 really. We all went, except for Colin, we all went to the same school, and but I've known Colin since I was about maybe 8 or 9 anyway. And when we couldn't find a bass player, I just talked Colin into learning the bass. I said, if you buy a bass, I'll teach you. And so he bought a K bass for 30 quid. And I just said, like, right, this is an A, this is an E. That's all you need, really. This one's an E, this one's an A. And so we were 16 and we just started, and that's it. We didn't do covers either, really. We just wanted to write our own for some reason. And we couldn't play covers either. I think that was part of the problem. We weren't very good at it. So we learned a few. We learned Paranoid. I think my brother persuaded me that we've got a couple of gigs at local pubs, and so my brother Dave would say, you should do Paranoid. I love that. You know, not quite in that accent, but anyway. So we did Paranoid, and we also did Motorhead once, and we did Space Station Number 5 as well, I believe, but I can't remember doing it. But it's a nice, easy song in it. So
yeah. What were the bands that kind of sparked that then for you, Brian, to write your own material at 16? What were the bands you were listening to?
All the usual, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, you name it, all the classic. The 70s was, as you know, so fruitful, so many incredible bands to inspire kids like myself. And there was just no way I was going to be in a covers band. I mean, obviously the word tribute band didn't exist, thankfully. And I just wanted to follow the heroes, really. I thought, okay, these bands write all their own songs and they become big rock stars. Let's do that. Let's write our own songs and become rock stars, I suppose. So it didn't quite work out like that, but that was the plan.
So as a teenager, was it just hours and hours locked in the bedroom playing guitar, honing your craft?
Yeah, pretty much. We didn't do many gigs in the early days. We didn't do any gigs the first year, and then I think we did one gig the second year, and then something like 3 gigs in year 3. And then by year 4, we started. We had a manager then. A friend said, I'll manage you, Steve Busfield, and he got us about maybe 15 gigs around the Midlands. So we started getting into playing live a lot more then.
Yeah, we remember that. Like when we were like 16, 17, and you start getting on the gig circuit.
Right.
It was just brilliant. Even though we were only playing in Wales at that period, there were so many places to play. Where I feel sorry for the bands that are coming through now because they haven't got that. I don't think they have it as well. Like, we were very fortunate. You could play, Jesus Christ, what a shame. We could play every weekend when we were in college in a different part of Wales or a different place. And not go back to that place for like a couple of months because you could just kind of fill the diary up,
That's what you need, isn't it? There, you need to, hone your craft, as they say on stage, and in front of an audience. Learn how to work an audience. Learn how to even build a set. Learn what songs work well live.
Yeah, and that's before we even started heading to London. So I suppose it's the same with you guys. When you had that manager on board and then he starts getting you all around the Midlands, was that like the starting point where you could start to see the band go in some way?
Well, I mean, that manager didn't stay, and then we had another couple of managers. Then we had another couple of managers. But I mean, by the time we get to London, we'd probably done maybe 25, 30 gigs or something. So at least we'd had a chance to, get a bit of experience under our belt. We weren't just thrust into the limelight too quickly.
Yeah.
One of the early gigs in London was supporting Iron Maiden at the Lyceum, and of course Jeff Barton reviewed the gig, so no pressure there. A, you're playing with Maiden, and B, Jeff Barton's there, the legend for sounds, and he wrote a fantastic piece on the band. So that gave us immense satisfaction, and confidence to get something like that. Thank you, Jeff.
Wow. How nervous were you for that gig?
I can't remember. I cannot remember. We only had 20 minutes, I know that, but that's life.
Wow. Because you've obviously toured with Iron Maiden, Megadeth, AC/DC, Sabbath.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Any
There's
stories?
a question there. How did you get the sessions on the Friday Rock Show? Probably Tony Wilson. I think what's his name? Tommy Vance played the album when we released Light Into the Nations. I think he played Am I Evil, and then next thing you know, the producer Tony Wilson would get us in for a session. A Friday Rock Show session. That's easy for you to say. I know Def Leppard went on and they did some. They did things like Answer to the Master, didn't they? Had some weird tracks that with their early style, And then, as I say, we got on, and then Tony Wilson actually produced a couple of things for us. He produced our couple of singles, so that was nice. We felt we were proper in there, and good old Tommy. Because there wasn't much rock radio, was there, back then in the early 80s? Friday Rock Show, 2 hours on two hours a week that was it, I think, and maybe Fluff Freeman on a Saturday.
What was the when Shane was saying what was it like when you got your first like proper support tour? What were you and the guys like? Was that exciting times?
Yes, exciting. I think the first tour was a band called April Wine, who'd come over from Canada. And the first thing we noticed was that they weren't particularly friendly. Like, we'd done 2 dates with AC/DC, and they were fantastic. And, you know, we talked to them, and they were so helpful. The crew, everything was brilliant. So when we got to April Wine, we thought they'd be the same, and they weren't. They were all a bit, you know, so we'd pass them in the alleyway, in the corridor backstage, and we'd go, hello, and they'd sort of go, hi. And that'd be about it. So that's about all you get out of them, one word, you know, if you're lucky. They obviously didn't want to talk to the support bands. So we learned a lesson there. They're not all as nice as AC/DC.
The guys looked after you well with AC/DC, did they?
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Like at one point, our drummer was sound checking the drum kit, boom, boom, and the guy would be shouting, you know, the tom's not in tune or something. So he'd go, yeah, no, it's this drum key. I can't, you know. And after a bit, Dave Roddy said, I'll tell you what, mate, I'll tune your kit. You can get a drink or something. And so they tuned the drums up and sound checked the kit and did all that.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had a chat to Peter Mensch. He came into the dressing room and had a good chat with us, which was nice. That don't normally happen.
No, we had Bob Richards on here, and he was sharing stories of AC/DC, and he just said so nice, just beautiful people, like great humans. Made him so welcome, even though he only went up for the session to do a video. But he just said the whole process was just like, he just said fantastic and just so welcoming.
It was. They spoiled us a bit because we thought everybody'd be like that.
And then obviously playing with Sabbath as well, that must have been a real bucket list ticker, because
it was extra special because they're local, aren't they? The Midlands band. So I'd been a fan of Sabbath since probably 73, something like that. My brother saw them in 71 at Birmingham Town Hall on the Master of Reality tour, and then I caught them in 74 on Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Birmingham Odeon. So that was fantastic. So of course I've been a fan, you know, we'd seen them on the Never Say Die tour and things like that. And so the idea of just, you know, going out on tour of Europe as well, you know, not just the UK, but getting in a tour bus and going across Europe, so exciting to a young man. And but the only fly in the ointment was it wasn't the classic Black Sabbath lineup. It was Ian Gillan on vocals, and it was Bev Bevan on drums, and they were promoting the Born Again album. So, but it was a fantastic tour, and massive venues, and a huge dollop of experience for us lads from the Black Country.
Yeah, and of course, especially like I was reading as well, you did the original like Monsters of Rock, which like for me and Shane, when we were leaving school, we used to get the old magazines, and you'd see the lineups, which were incredible. So that became part of our, which, you know, lucky enough, we've ticked that off now to play Donington. But it was the Monsters of Rock, because those bands, it was incredible to see all the names on the posters. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yes, it was very exciting, and that was pretty much it for the year, wasn't it? There was that one rock festival beginning in, I think, 1980, and so everybody would go. It would come from all over the UK, and you'd bump into, you know, guys from London and Scotland and whatever. And you know, I went to the first one, the one with Rainbow, because I've always been a huge Richie Blackmore fan, and I went to a few. I went to the '84 one with AC/DC, possibly the '91. I've been to probably about 4 or 5, but yeah, we played it in '83 when the main band was Whitesnake. And a mind-blowing experience. I mean, very difficult. We were the opening band, so the pressure's on, and you're on at like say 2 in the afternoon, and you know, it's tough. We'd had a lineup change, and we'd got new material, and I don't think we had a warm-up gig. I think we just rehearsed. So it was quite a tough one for us, but just great to be there, you know, and part of that historic time with Midland Concert Promotion and Morris Jones and all that.
It's incredible. I mean, I've been following. I love the stories. Our manager put us onto it on the Facebook page. I said at the top of the show, you started doing kind of blogs, haven't you?
Yes.
Which are brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you.
They're great, because I love that. I mean, anybody who's a music fan, or you've been in a band, you love to hear all the stories or the day-to-day.
I do. Exactly. Yeah, I do. I love it to, you know, somebody tells me a tale. If you're in a pub and somebody says, you know, hey, we did this and we did that, it's great. So I just thought, again, while we're in lockdown, while I've got time on my hands, I just thought, I know what I'll do. I'll do some blogs. And Carly at the label said, we'll call it Tatler's Tales. Yeah. And so I started, and lots of great feedback. So I just thought, right, keep going. And while we're not gigging, while we're not giving the fans anything, if you like, I thought at least keep them interested via the website and Facebook, and give them a, you know, and a bit of humor. You know, I'm all for having a laugh and putting some jokes in there, and I try not to take myself too seriously. I'd much rather read a rock book that makes me laugh than just it's, you know, super factual or dry.
Was there any sort of pranks you ever pulled on someone, or someone pulled on you, life on tour and stuff with other bands?
Pranks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. We did a gig where the last number, the road crew started dismantling the gear, you know. I mean, that's been done before. And one guy walked on and dressed as Santa, you know, so it's all good fun. Yeah. I'm not a prank sort of guy, I suppose, because I don't want it done to me. But you know, I'm not going to pour a bucket of slime over somebody, because I don't want a bucket of slime over myself. But we've done, yeah, I suppose, crazy things. We all have, you know, in the moment.
Yeah, that's cool. Anybody in the Crow family that wants to ask Brian a question, he said beforehand, please feel free to answer any questions you guys go.
Yeah, with the Metallica thing as well, Brian, for anybody who doesn't know, how did that come about? How did you first start to meet the guys, or to form the relationship that you have?
How did we first meet them?
Yeah.
Well, obviously Lars was the catalyst. He came over. He bought a copy of Light Into the Nations because it was available mail order. So he bought a copy, came over to see the band in '81, and introduced himself, you know. And we knew we'd got a fan in LA because he'd ordered his copy. And I think he wrote back to the address, the mail order address, and said, I'm coming over, you know. So we met this Danish chap who was 17 backstage at the Woolwich Odeon, and thought he was a nice chap, you know. And in a way, because he was only 17 and he'd flown across the Atlantic to see us, I just thought, you know, is he all right? Where's he going to stay and all that? So I just said, you know, do you want to stay with me? You know, do you want to come back and hang with the band, I suppose? So he was like free and easy. I suppose that's what he'd like to have happened. And so we just took him with us. He jumped in the car with us, and we brought him back up to Birmingham, and he stopped at my house, or my parents' house, and he stopped with Sean's parents, and just hang, you know. He'd come to gigs with us. He came to rehearsal. He'd sit in Sean's bedroom while we tried to write songs, and he was just a super fan, you know, like uber Diamond Head fan, and he never once mentioned the drums or anything, or you know, I'm going to form a band or anything. We didn't know he was going to be a rock star. We just thought he was a super fan, you know, and not just of Diamond Head, you know. He loved the new wave of British heavy metal, so he'd got dozens of albums, like, you know, all the other bands and singles. And while he was in the UK, he was buying everything he could to take back to the US with him. So, you know, he felt like a massive fan, really. But it was brilliant that we've got a fan in America.
Yeah.
And then we found out a bit later that he'd got this band, and they were called Metallica. And he said we rehearsed 6 nights a week. And I was very impressed with that, because I don't know another band that rehearsed 6 nights a week. So I thought, well, we must be keen, must be serious, aren't they? You know. And,
he was obviously
I
sitting there.
his rise, you know, with admiration, shall we say.
Yeah, but he must have been there, sitting there, watching you guys, you know, pen these songs. He's learning. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so. He was taking it all in, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Little did we know, you know.
Wow.
I think it's brilliant, and I love the fact that obviously they covered Am I Evil, and then you know the relationship has still grown over the years, like, you know, to the fact of you going over there and performing with them. That's brilliant. Yet again, that's on Tatler's Tales. What's it? A Dull Day. It's a brilliant tale.
Yeah. Yes, so now we did the 30th anniversary, 2011, and yeah, that's just, you know, incredible. You know, a phone call from Lars, and you want to come over? You know, what a question to be asked. Do you want to come over to San Francisco to play the 4 Diamond Head songs that we've covered with Metallica, and we'll pay the flights and hotels and all that. So what am I going to say? You know, I'm going to say yes, please. And it was absolutely fantastic to be asked, you know, and to be part of that whole thing, with, because there was some big names on that. The 4 days, they did 4 days over a week. Each band would and each artist would rehearse in the afternoon at Metallica HQ, and then do the gig on the night. And they had Rob Halford come in, and Ozzy, and all sorts of you know, mega guys came in, and we were part of that, and it was fantastic. So I loved it.
That must be a huge proud moment for you, dude. Do you get nervous do you still get nervous when you play, or is it just
a little bit? I've never been too bad with nerves. You know, you hear stories about people with stage fright. Some people can't even go on stage. You know, they get it so bad. And I've heard people, you know, being sick and all sorts. But I like it. I quite enjoy the vibe, the excitement, the energy. That I suppose there's an element that it could go horribly wrong. You know, your equipment might not work, and it all adds a sort of energy to the moment, really. And then, of course, you know, you're playing to real people who are hopefully digging the show. So I quite like it, and I'm not scared of a big crowd. I'd rather play to a big crowd than a little crowd. The more the merrier for me. I do. I get up, you know. It is like a drug, really. You know, once you've tasted that thing about being on stage, you want it over and over again. You don't want to pack it in. You know, I think, you know, the big bands like the Stones, they don't need the money, of course, but I think they actually enjoy playing live and being in the Stones, and, you know, the camaraderie. So I think that they just keep doing it till they can't anymore, you know. Yeah. Till something stops you doing it.
Yeah. The biggest shows you've done, what type of numbers are we talking? The biggest sort of crowd? And
well, all support. I mean, I'd say the 2 Sonospheres we did with Metallica, we reckon we played to about 120,000 over the 2 dates. And we also did Milton Keynes Bowl with Metallica in '93. That was probably 60,000. So those 2 were big. Yeah. We did Hellfest a couple of years ago as well, and Wacken. But probably the dates with Metallica were, you know, because their following is just unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. Were they some of the best gigs too because of that?
No, I think I prefer, you know, a proper Diamond Head gig where we do a full set. Yeah. Really. there's been a lot. I don't know how many I've done now, but yeah, I don't know. And you've probably got a tiny bit more control. The thing with the festival is it's all a bit rushed, isn't it? You rush on, and you have to rush off. And sometimes you don't get sound check. You might get a line check, and sometimes I can't hear anything in the monitors. You know what it's like. And you go for it anyway, don't you? You put on a brave face, and it's all fantastic. But at least if it's your own gig, you've got time to get the sound right and make sure everything's honky dory.
On a Diamond Head sort of headline show, how long are you playing for a night?
Probably an hour and a half, something like that. About 90 minutes. Yeah.
Do you struggle writing set lists and stuff because of obviously the amount of albums you have?
Little bit, yeah. What I would like to do is mix it up. You know, I don't want to do the same set every night, so I'm always trying to find a new opener, because I feel if you don't change the opener, the people that come to see you time and time again will just think, oh, they always do this. They always open with this. They always do Am I Evil last? And, so try and mix it up. We did one tour where I had a big list of songs that we don't normally play. And we tried to do one every night, a different one every night. So in the dressing room, we'd be going, what's the second verse? And things like that. How's that solo go? And try putting, stuff off an album we haven't done for 20 years, things like that. But just to mix it up, it helps us make it fresh, make it fresh. There was a question a minute ago. I forgot what it was. Can you remember what it was? From some guy, Dave Bunny. But I forgot what the question was. It said there's something on the bottom. Okay. But it clicked off and I lost it. But anyway.
No, I can't see.
Oh, sorry, Dave. It's gone. Never mind.
Oh, here we go. Yes, Steve Bonney, have you had any feedback from Lars Ulrich and the Metallica guys of your recent cover of No Remorse?
Well, he said he was very honoured. Yes, I spoke to him. I did a Zoom thing with Dave Ling for Classic Rock, and he thought he said he was really honoured that Diamond Head had covered one of their songs, and he thought it sounded great. So I was super chuffed with that, and I passed that on to the band, and especially Raz, who mixed and produced the album Lightning to the Nation 2020, and so that was really nice. And he asked me, why did we pick that song? Of all the Metallica songs, why pick No Remorse? And I explained that I didn't want to do anything off like the Black album or something. Yeah. I thought, let's do something off Kill 'Em All, their debut album, just as they covered songs from Diamond Head's debut album. And I didn't want to do Seek and Destroy. I thought it was a bit obvious. So I settled on No Remorse because I thought it sounds a little bit like Diamond Head. There's things about it that remind me of Diamond Head. And so I got everybody to learn it, and we tried it in rehearsal, and it immediately sounded great. So I just thought, that's it. Then we all just thought, yeah, that's the one. So that we didn't have to look any further. No Remorse.
Fantastic.
Fab.
It's another one, yeah. Louise Kirkwood. Or is it Louis?
Could be
Louis.
Kirkwood.
What is it?
I think it's Louis Kirkwood. Or was
Louis, sorry, not Louise.
What would you say are key components of heavy metal music? I'm an inspiring metal musician myself. I play guitar and sing. Got any tips? Thanks.
The key components, probably the guitar riffs, isn't it? The riffs, the distortion, the big drums, the powerful vocals. I don't know. If anybody asks me about it, for advice, I often say write songs. I think that's the best thing you can do. If you write good songs, everything else seems to come together. But it's probably the best thing I've ever done is write songs. And I always feel when I'm no longer here, hopefully a song like Am I Evil will still be out there in the world doing its thing. That's my legacy in a way, the songs. So shows all well and good and all that, but I think focus on your writing every time.
You have a tremendous back catalogue. Is there anything that you get excited to play live? I know, like we've had this discussion with a lot of musicians, and like me personally, if we were to write a hit that is everywhere and is popular, you have to, you have to play it all the time. You have to.
Yeah.
But you also got to respect that hit, because that's what makes your band and stuff. But is there something that you just really enjoy playing, and you might put it in the set, maybe not all the time, but you're like, oh, I can't wait to play that one? Or
there is, but unfortunately, they're not popular ones, really. So we end up doing the big songs that people want to hear and have paid to come and see us. And partly, I'm very grateful to have those songs, because I know the crowd are going to react. And I always think, if a place is going crazy, by the time we get to Am I Evil, it'll be mayhem. So that's quite exciting now, is to know that is we still haven't even hit the peak yet. But I would put in, we did a song years ago called We Won't Be Back, and I like to play that one, but we've done it. I kind of twisted everybody's arms and said, let's do We Won't Be Back. It's great. And then we do it, and I like it. And there's another one called Come Alive, which I really like, but it's somehow the crowd like it, but they don't love it. It kind of, it can suck energy out of a show. If they don't know the song, then they're not digging it. So you have to be real careful with being indulgent. So I don't do it too often.
No, I like asking that, because I know, being in a band is hard, because you're writing a set not just for yourself, and that's and then you're putting together a show, and it's exactly like you said, and then you look down that list and you're like, oh, we haven't put that in yet. Well, we better put that in, otherwise they're going to leave unhappy, so
that's right. They've got to go home happy, haven't they?
And it is really cool to hear from bands or musicians, and kind of hear the guilty pleasures more. You've written, they're your babies. You've gone through all the process, but you still don't get to put them in the set, So
I think that's just the way it is, isn't it? If you go and see AC/DC, they will do a lot of the big songs, and they will only do a couple off the new album. And there's always one that you think, oh, I wish I'd do this something off Power Age, maybe, or an earlier cut. And I suppose they've just got so many good songs. If they can't, in a way, they have to be ruthless. Or we've only got 2 hours, so we can't do 60 songs, But I'd imagine most bands have that problem. But they want to do some new material, but they know the crowd want to hear the big hits. That's the way it is. That's what I want.
I've done it with
I want to hear the hits. If I went to see a band and they didn't do anything that I'd gone to see them for, I'd be annoyed. I probably wouldn't go and see them again. I think that's very.
I did it when I went to watch Maiden recently, and I selfishly wanted to hear them play Deja Vu. There's a track. It's not one of their most popular tracks, but I really like it. I love the chord progressions, and I like the melody lines in it. But they didn't play. There was a couple of hits they didn't actually play on that tour, because, like you said, it's hard when you've got a back catalogue, same as you guys. When you start racking up the albums, there's got to be something that is left off, unfortunately.
That's right. So, I mean, especially at a festival, when you've got 40 minutes or something, or a support slot, so you have to be ruthless. And we've got long songs. Am I Evil's 8 minutes. The Prince is 6 minutes, so we can end up doing 5 songs on a support slot.
Wow. We need a couple of those in our sets. So I can have a rest as a vocalist.
More solos.
It might be a silly question, but do you prefer?
It is.
Do you prefer? Do you prefer writing and recording that process, or do you just live for the live, and you can't wait to get out on the road?
It's both, and very often when I'm on the road, I'm moaning because I'm fed up, and then when I'm in the studio, I'm moaning because I want to be on the road. It's a bit like that. it's hard to get a balance, really. I really enjoy the creative bit where you're writing and you get some magic, and I enjoy, recording guitars and things like that. And it's amazing when you hear the mix kind of thing, and the vocals are done, and the tracks come to life, and you think, oh, it's going to be brilliant. This is, but then you can't wait to play it live and get back on the road. And I've really missed the road, of course, from lockdown. 15 months of twiddling at home. So it's a bit of both. It's not either or.
Have you got plans to meet up with the guys? I know you're going to meet up with the Curry, and but have you got plans to meet up with the band? And
we haven't yet. Our next gig is Bloodstock in August, so we're going to do a week's rehearsal before then. Our drummer lives in France, Raz lives in London, and the three of us are in the Midlands. So even getting together, there's an expense involved, so we have to be a bit careful. It would be great if we could rehearse every week and all that business, but logistically we can't do that. So we just have to do, like a hot house thing where you just rehearse every day for, a week or something, and get it tight. And we also I'm going to start working on new material once we actually get together, but that's going to end up being August now. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll just keep going, keep pushing forward, keep the ball rolling. It's rolling very nicely, and I just want to keep it rolling. There's a question. Oh no, it's the same. Sorry. Oh, Dave Davies. Dave Davies.
Brian, in which country do you feel the fans give you the best live support? I thought they were boss in Poland.
Boss in Poland. Poland was amazing, actually. We did 3 dates in Poland, and all amazing gigs. So good call there, Dave. UK is always good. Scotland, Ireland's great. Wales is great. Not to miss you out. We've done quite a bit in the US, and Canada's good. We enjoyed. We did a 15-day tour of Canada around 2016, 17. So that was good. I enjoyed that. We got to places that we never even heard of before, and we'd turn up and do a show. So they probably appreciated that we'd made the effort, to come all this way and play for them. But nowhere in particular. It just depends. So it's all good. But Poland, yeah.
Yeah, because you went out to Japan. You've done it all, really. You've done the world. We haven't done Australia or New Zealand, and we haven't done like South America. So we haven't been to Brazil and all those countries, and of course we haven't been to Russia or China or anything like that. So there's still territory to be conquered. But you have to rely on a promoter, don't you, to get you out there and take the risk and put you on. And it's expensive, isn't it? Paying for flights and hotels and promotion and hire a venue and hire equipment. So they've got to be sure that they're going to sell tickets. It's tricky, but we love to play. We really love to go to new countries where we haven't been and sample the culture. As you mentioned, Japan. Fantastic. But I'd love to go back, maybe one day.
Yeah. I'd love to tour Japan. What about you, Ron?
Yeah. Yes, I'm really looking forward to that.
He's up to Japan.
Well, that's the thing, I think any band, especially if you're a fan and you used to collect the magazines and start seeing the bands, and then they go a bit quiet and you realize they're in a different territory because they're not on a campaign or whatever in the UK, and then you might get snippets of them playing in America or South America, as you said, because there's a massive scene. Especially for metal, thrash in South America.
Oh yeah,
incredible.
We always hear the stories, you guys should go to, Brazil and all that. But it's just getting over there, really. We haven't managed to do it yet, but I'd love to one day.
That's fab.
Brilliant.
And that shocked me with the Australia, because obviously I know, I think it was a good 10 years ago, but there was a great scene out in Australia and a lot of amazing festivals. So, but like you
It's
said,
the
yet
cost.
again, it's the cost. It's the cost. Yeah.
The cost is shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
And probably visas involved. And also when you're in Australia, you can't drive, from Sydney to Perth and Canberra, can you? You have to fly. They're all so far apart. So each time you'd have to fly all the band, all the equipment, unless you're using, dodgy hired backline every time. So the costs will rocket to tour Australia for a British band.
Yeah. We've got one more question for you, Brian.
Okay.
Here we go. It's, what's your favorite song off the Coffin Train?
Okay. Oh, it's the title track. Oh, it's Dave Bonney again. He's a good lad, isn't he? All right, Dave.
All right, Dave.
Pint of beer in it for you, Dave. It's the title track. Coffin Train. I love it.
Yeah, I love the artwork. You can see it there on the left hand side. It's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, good artwork. That's a chap called Travis something. I forgot his surname. American guy. Never met him. All done on the net.
Yeah.
We told him what we needed. Give him a sketch, and he said he went out and took a load of photographs of old trains,
Right.
and then started, doing what he does and send them back. And fantastic. Just blown away.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, great.
Brian,
One of the best covers we've ever had.
Well, I'm just looking there now. You've had some incredible covers.
Well, the Borrowed Time was a big one. Yeah, that's a Rodney Matthews, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
But I really like both of those.
Fantastic.
Thank you for the compliment.
Brian, thank you so much for joining us, mate. A complete legend. We were over the moon when we found out we could have you on CrowCast.
Hey.
A real honor speaking with you, buddy, and hopefully we'll share a stage one day. Well,
yeah, I mean, as I say, we've already bumped into each other at Planet Rockstock.
Yeah.
And there's another one coming up, isn't there, in December?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll see you then.
Awesome.
We'll have a bevy or something.
Yes, definitely, mate. Definitely.
Right.
We'll bring you down one of ours so you can try that. You can sample that.
Okay. We'll try and get a Bathams up to you then.
Brilliant.
But yeah, thank you for having me on the show. It's been really good. I've enjoyed it.
It's brilliant, mate.
Brian.
And honestly, we'll now I've been put into the direction. I'll be on the page reading more of the tales. I assume you'll still be doing more, yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing them as we speak. I've got one coming in the next few days, and then I'm working on one probably next week or something like that. Yeah, I'm still coming. Oh, well, people are enjoying them, so I'm just going to keep going until I run out of steam or we actually start gigging. Whatever comes first.
Yeah. Amazing. Brian, thank you, buddy. Take care.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you very much. See you soon. Take care, Brian.
You too. All the best with the band.
Fabulous. Absolutely amazing, mate.
Lovely guy.
Mate. We'll have to get him some beer.
Definitely. We'll send him some.
Yeah. No, sir. Is he? They're on the Rockstock bill, are they?
Yeah.
I haven't checked that poster because I still think I got I took it off the system. I'll have to reload that. But that's brilliant. We get to see him face to face, which a lot of our guests, I always say that I can't wait for that. Like, especially like with Ricky and other people we've met, I can't wait to see him at a festival. And I genuinely don't think so many bands will be as busy to rush off now. They'll all want to get together. They'll all want to connect and rekindle, and but he has got some amazing stories, guys. If you head over to the Diamond Head page, it's on the Facebook page. It's brilliant. Tatler tales, and there's some beauties on there. Full kind of blog, day to day, what happened, how he took phone calls, how that progressed. It's really entertaining. It is. So it's fab. Should we get in the boys?
Bring in the crows.
Well, we have a Lloyd. We have a Dave. And that's as far as it goes this week, ladies and gentlemen. Sadly, Shiner couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Yes, but we have the four. We have the awesome foursome.
The big four.
Aye,
The
aye.
big four.
There we go. You can't write that stuff. Well, you can't. We just did.
What's up? It was a good conversation. He's a lovely fella, Brian. Is
Lovely guy, isn't he?
from what I've seen and what I've heard, you know, he always comes across well, doesn't he, in his interviews and
Absolutely. And you know, his career is like he's so renowned within the industry. You know, everyone knows Diamond Head, and everyone knows the link with Metallica and stuff. But it was up and down. You know what I mean? There was real highs, there was lows, and he's with different members, and yeah, it's just it's incredibly still doing it and still got that love for it. You know what I mean? And playing gigs and still writing songs, and I hope I'm like her.
yeah.
Yes, fab. Because I didn't want to go into it because I didn't want to make it doom and gloom. But
Yeah.
and I think he's added off a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of other press outlets and stuff. And you know, we are different on the CrowCast. It is more of a
Yeah.
friendly chat rather than an in depth and dig
Yeah.
into the nitty gritty. Like, but I know I've seen other podcasts and stuff where he's been asked, you know, horrible questions like how come they weren't bigger, as in like why weren't they signed to bigger labels and stuff, and I think Brian answered it well, where he's just like, I just don't know, we kept doing everything. They got a great following, they got mega bands who love Diamond Head, but it's like you said, Shane, it's just been up and down for the guys, and that is awful, you know, because Brian's got to face that constantly. Like, you know, he's still, like you said, still writing, still behind the band, still pushing them forward, as he said, still keeping it rolling. So, you know, it's just hard. They've had obstacles the same as most bands, but still trying to kind of keep that engine rolling, which I love that. I love that.
Well, yeah, but it's almost like they've created this cult fan base now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because of that, you know what I mean?
We'll put it this way. I mean, you know, he's had a career for 40 years, so he's doing something right. Do you know what I mean? You know, bands can blow up and they can come down just as quick, you know, but to sustain a career for 40 years is,
One Direction,
you know,
only lasted 5 years, didn't he?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So, you know,
Rolling Stones are still out there.
It's not necessarily. I think people get wrapped up in the getting massive thing as opposed to, as a musician, do you want a sustained career? And you know, and like you said, do you want to be respected by your peers? You know, I mean, to have a 40-year career and have Metallica worshipping you, to me, that's like.
We missed
Sorry,
the
I broke up.
punchline. We missed the punchline.
To have Metallica worshipping you.
Yeah, just, you know, that's to me, that's being huge. You know, Yeah.
I love that story. I mean, I've heard it because Lars, you know, he'll always say like his favorite bands, and it's incredible. And but I love that story of, you know, a young Lars flying over, hanging out with the band. You can imagine him getting all the memorabilia he can. Just brilliant. And then that must have blown him away to see that band's journey, like, you know. Oh, that's Lars. Like, that's like he said. Oh, that's our fan from LA.
I'm telling you now, right? I'm telling you now, Lars was there with a dictaphone recording everything. And he takes it back to America, hooks up with the boys and says, oh, let's play like this. That's what's happening there, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll have Lars next week.
Lars
is our next one.
Tell Brian, give him a shout. We'll have him on. Happily.
He's fab. I like Lars. He gets a lot of shit, he does, but he's really, really interesting. The more podcasts I've listened to him with on lately, amazing. What's that from Paul by there?
Newsflash, you're both on Sunday at Rockstock.
Oh, there
we
we
are
are.
waiting 18 months for that, plus Empire and Monster Truck, all on the same night. Woo! Come on, Paul.
Oh, what a night.
Right.
I apologize for not knowing that. It's just, I think any band at the moment, it is an apology, but there's a reason for it. Any band at the moment, you're getting these bills, and then sadly they have had to be tweaked or they've had to change. So it was a bit different to 219. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to kind of like, you know, make excuses, but it is hard to remember a bill at the moment because, you get used to one kind of lineup, then it's been rescheduled, then maybe someone's changed, or someone's had to pull out for obvious reasons without kind of keeping on hitting it home. But it's just a shit circumstance. So I'm finding it hard where I was quite locked in, and we were all kind of like that, weren't we? Or Shane would be like, "Oh, what's that gig?" And you know who was on the bill or what day. I'm kind of still in that limbo now where I'm like, I haven't got a clue. I just know they're coming up.
I'm exactly the same as you, Ron. Exactly the same, bro.
Yeah.
Christ, that's a great day, that Sunday. Oof.
That's
That's going to be fab, that is. That's fab. Wow.
Can't wait.
Right.
If you had all that trouble in the back of a tour bus, what's it going to be like in a caravan? Huh?
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, and before we move on, boys, as you heard top of the show, new beer. Exciting yesterday.
Bloody lovely, that is.
Look at that, Dave.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's my honest opinion on the beer is it's very, very, very good. And I'm not just saying that, it's a lovely beer.
Oh, it's very seductive, that picture.
It's slightly, it's a West Coast, so it's slightly.
There he is, boy.
He took so many shots, and to use that one, took about 20 photos, and the one where I'm like, got my eyes closed.
He said the others were worse. That's what he said. So,
right. So,
yeah.
Well,
you're actually like,
lucky. Yeah, I say lucky he wasn't taking photos later in the night, wasn't he?
Don't get me going now, Ron.
But yeah, get on there and order it, people. Tenby Brewing Co. They do some. I mean, even order some of their other stuff if you're on the website, because some of it is incredible. Well, all of it is incredible, you know. So
you got some nice drinks.
Oh yeah, we tried a few yesterday.
Yeah, it was just exciting. Like I said, yet again, we got Send an IPA, and then to have that one added to the collection, and to hear the great news that it's already in the shops. So it will be available. I think this week now. I know a few shops that have already messaged, and we were told yesterday, like I said, with management and the guys at Tenby. Maybe we'll get them on the show a couple of weeks, so they can actually run through the beer, how they made it, because it's just really, really interesting, especially where they're based, and about the water. That was really interesting. That was.
Yeah, really knowledgeable people, obviously to be able to do that. But I learned a lot yesterday, you know, before it all went pear-shaped. Like, but also if you've got a like a local craft beer place, a local bar, whatever, you wanted to stock it there, tell them to give them a shout, and you know they'll get it up there.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's been great as well because the sauce has been hitting the local shops as well. It was really nice the other day. I was out with the wife and we went to a couple of shops, especially locally, and to see the sauce there, you know, you're having a little smile going, there it is. So yeah, that's doing great. The sauce and the beer, it's fantastic. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, how come you're getting into all of this? It's, you know, but it's brilliant being a band and having these extensions, you know, like Brian said, to get over to the States, you've got to build that brand up. Like, and plus we love beer and we absolutely love hot sauce as well.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah, it's fun. It's you know, we're doing things that we find fun and we enjoy. It's not, you know, it's not any other reason than that, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's, you know,
yeah,
that's why we're doing it. So we like beer. Here's a beer. Share our beer with us.
Especially when COVID happened, we all sat back and we were kind of like, well, what else can we do? You know, with your hands tied, gigs off a table and stuff. So it really gave us time to work on other areas.
Yeah.
And start kind of getting the brands out, which is fantastic. So
Ashcroft made a banging spag ball with that. Dude, nice. That's a good idea.
Good idea.
It goes well in nearly everything. You can use as much or little of it as you like. It's just got such a nice flavor to it. It really has. So yeah, I can see that building a bolognese, giving it just a nice little kick. You know, you use it sparingly. Nice little kick there.
Ooh.
You know, in a chili or anything.
Yeah. Still haven't tried a breakfast pap. I'm gonna have to do that. Little touch in a breakfast pap.
Ooh, yeah. So such a good flavour. And that kick at the after kick on it.
Yeah.
Like a dirty mule. Anyway, let's go on to the birthdays. Happy birthday to my sister-in-law, Caroline, who turned the big 40 yesterday. Happy birthday, Kaz.
Happy birthday, Caroline.
I know you've had a good day. You've had a good weekend, actually. Celebrated all weekend. Very lucky girl. Happy birthday to Richard Cotter. It was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Richard.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Rich. Catch up soon, mate.
Happy birthday to Madeline Lenthal, a.k.a. Mads. Yeah, I know it as Mads. Is it Madeline or Madeline? Sorry, Mads. I've always known you as Mads. That's from Denim and Blether. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Mads.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
Birthday.
And last one, Eric Duvet, photographer and all-round lovely Frenchman. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Eric. Hope you had a good day.
Happy
mate.
birthday, Eric. You talented bastard.
He's taken many photos of the crows and made us look good.
Yeah.
That's the birthdays.
What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. What's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line?
Bloody marvelous. What's the next line? Before we do this, actually, the prize. The prize is going to be a mental health coloring book. We go there. It is. It's going to be a Megadeth one. The official Megadeth coloring book.
Topical. I like it.
Well, you have to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to go there. Jesus, you couldn't just leave that alone, can you? Nope.
Can't leave it alone.
Just couldn't. So that's the prize this week. And the lyric is, to hell with regret. To hell with regret. What's the next line? Go.
While we wait for the answer, over to Dave to talk about this week's Crow Radio.
The best music all day long. Crow Radio. Available now via Those Damn Crows Spotify page. Don't forget to click the green heart.
All right, so this week's Pro Radio, we've decided to go with thrash metal. And not because Diamond Head were specifically a thrash metal band, but Diamond Head seemed to be a big influence on all the thrash bands. So that's what we've gone with. I'm a personal big fan of thrash metal. I grew up with it. So here we go. Right, starting off, Diamond Head with Am I Evil. Next, Seasons in the Abyss, Slayer. Next, Caught in a Mosh, Anthrax. Next, Arise, Sepultura. Practice What You Preach, Testament. Hangar 18, Megadeth. Thick-Skinned, Annihilator. Buried or Burned, Defiance. Redneck Stomp, Obituary. Good Day to Die, Exodus. Suicidal Maniac, Suicidal Tendencies. Helpless, which was a cover of a Diamond Head tune by Metallica. Elimination by Overkill. The New Low, Acid Rain. Watch Out Grandma, Here Comes a Lawnmower. Lawnmower Death. Cult by Evil, and Metal Forces by Onslaught. So if you want to get your thrash metal kick, this is the place.
That's a cracker.
Sorry for that, everybody. Dave was reading a list and wasn't what was on the screen. So there wasn't in order. You were listing it and it wasn't in this order. I don't know why. But,
I don't know.
Dave.
Yeah, I was. They're all there, you know. It's all thrash, you know, it's all fast.
Thrash set list.
Yeah.
That is a cracker to listen to on the bike or whether you're running this week. That'll get you going. Bloody hell.
I like my thrash metal. I'm a big fan of thrash metal.
Well, I might save that playlist. So how do I save it, Dave?
Press the little green heart and also press the little downwards arrow. Boop.
Perfect.
Yep.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Before I move on to the next segment, I just kind of brought up my phone and I had a message off Gary the Pie Man. And
Right.
going back to the sauce, we had a lovely little idea there with the bolognese. He suggested 1 teaspoon of Reaper, 3 teaspoons of honey, 150 ml of tomato passata. Heat it up, and it makes a cracking sauce for any fried bread crumb chicken.
Mm.
Whoa, that
Lovely.
sounds delicious.
Hey, he needs to do. He needs to
sounds-
do a pie with a sauce. I reckon one of his famous pies.
It might be worth asking him that to maybe do like a cook-off thing again, incorporating the sauce. So thank you for that, Gary. I will try that because I do something, or I should say the wife does something similar, like a chicken parmesan.
What about that thing where you can incorporate a beer? What's that thing where you shove the can of beer up the chicken's arse and cook it? What's that thing?
Canned chicken.
There we are. You could do that with our beer.
Yeah, canned chicken. I actually want to try that in the summer.
There we
I
are.
said I want to try that. I just got to get a different barbecue, I think. Don't know if it'll work on mine. But yeah, thank you for that, Gary. And yet again, anybody who's got ideas of what you've been cooking the sauce with, always throw them over because I love it. I'll try it. Same with the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And a quick mention about Crow Fitness. Now, before I go into Annie's segment, Mr. Charlie Farley. He's been a busy boy. He started the heavy metal truant. Did I say it right?
You did.
Yeah.
Excellent. He started it today, guys. So he's on the Crow Fitness page. He's been given all of his progress. So good luck to Charlie. A lot of people have sent well wishes to him. And the same with Paul Anthony as well. I think everybody's getting into it. It's a great cause. Get behind it. Get onto their Just Giving pages and support them.
Awesome.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Go on, Charlie boy.
And now with Crow Fitness, it's let's make sure I got the right one. Excellent. Week 12, unsurprisingly. Given the weather, the activities dropped off a bit this week, but we still clocked off 1,226.4 miles. That's taken us to 85% of our way around the world. Now, for anybody who's listening to this and wondering what am I waffling on about, Crow Fitness have been fantastic. The page is brilliant. They're a great community, and they've been doing a world tour from Bridgend all the way around because we haven't been able to get on the road ourselves. So we're 85% through this. We've also tipped over 1 million feet elevation climb in total. That's incredible.
Wow.
Last week we finished at the Crow Reservation in Montana. Well, as promised, Las Vegas, and despite David's unimpressed face, we have made it there this week. And of course, there is a bar for us to stop off. It's called the Crow Bar. I remember that.
I'll tell you one thing about Vegas, just to cut in there. You can drink on the streets. That's what I liked about it. You can walk down the street. It's legal to walk down the street with a cocktail in your hand going, ree. So that I did like.
Some
Nice.
positivity with Vegas.
Yep.
With a few more miles in the tank, we have made it down to San Diego, right across the border from Tijuana in Mexico. I can't wait for you to say Tijuana, Ronnie. Tequila, anyone?
Tijuana's cool. I've been there as well. That's cool. Yeah.
So that is Crow Fitness. Anybody who wants to get involved, head over to the Crow Fitness page on Facebook. Clock up your activities and motivate each other. It's fabulous. Great achievements being done. And thank you guys for sharing that with us.
Fabulous.
Good work. Good work.
Right, back to the winner of what's the next line? The lyric was, I gotta find it now. To hell with regret. To hell with regret. The line was, we held our heads up high. There were lots of people that had this. And the first person we think is David Graham. Congratulations, David.
Hey.
Well done.
We'll be in touch soon, bud. We'll get your address off you, and we'll get that Megadeth coloring book out to you ASAP.
Tidy.
Fantastic.
Do. So, This is quite topical, right?
They always are, Dave. They always
There
are.
always
Ah,
are
here we
topical.
go.
So,
Here we go.
a rat, a horse, and a rabbit cannot vomit. They are unable to vomit.
What?
Really?
Mm.
Well, we could have done with that, Ronnie, couldn't we, on the bus, huh?
Hey, I need to come back as one of them, don't I?
Come back as a Roland, like.
Jesus
Ronnie the rat.
Christ.
Which makes you wonder what. I know rats probably eat any old stuff, but horses are probably a bit more picky. If they eat something they're not supposed to, what happens? They can't vomit it up. That's interesting, isn't it?
That is. That's incredible.
That's why you should never get a horse drunk as well.
Are there any vets in the watching tonight?
Mm. Yeah, and apparently rabbits as well, I just found out.
Yeah, exactly. What?
Mm.
Maybe they don't drink enough.
Yeah, maybe. Ronnie the rat.
That's a sick did you know?
I was just trying to keep with the theme I was with that, did you know? Like, just trying to keep it topical, like, keep it current.
Rob Evans comes out quickly the other end, though.
Well, yeah, I can imagine.
Where do I get this shit from? The internet. You can get any old shit off the internet. You can if you look hard enough. Trust me.
Oh,
Oh. Have you got one more for us?
Hold on a
Dave?
minute. Hold on a minute.
Oh, go on.
Just get up that last comment there by Happy Evs. Jesus.
What? I remember a horse ate a bag of oats and it exploded. Phew.
Can we bring up Emma Ashcroft's comment, please? Because something happened to Dave yesterday, which involved a seagull.
Oh yeah, that's a good
yeah.
story. Yeah. So there we are. Read Emma's comment.
I
Well,
hear the seagulls can't fart, and if you feed them bicarbonate of soda, they blow up.
good.
Right. David, what is your seagull story? There we are. That'll finish the segment. Lovely.
Well,
What happened in Tembe yesterday to you?
Well, when we got to Tembe, we wanted to get a little something to eat, so I nipped into Greg's for a veggie sausage roll, one of them things. I take a bite out of it. I'm walking down the street, and I feel and I thought, who's that now? We seagull nicked it off me and fucking flew off.
I thought
then
it was funny when I went to walk past the chippy. You were in the queue for the chippy. I was like,
Yeah.
I thought you had a Greg's.
Yeah, no, that was pretty much what happened. But I don't know if it would have been gutted that it was a veggie sausage roll. Was it like, oh, for fuck's sake, man? Or was it like
Seagull 1, Crow 0. Yeah,
it was it's hell of a snatch though. It was strong. There must be strong things like, it was like it felt like a person was like ripping it out of my hand,
Yeah, I love the fact that when you were telling the story, you're like, oh, something just grabbed me, like, oh.
Yeah, it was violent. It was a violent. And then people were laughing on the street as well. I felt like I was like, oh, here we go now. I'm one of them. I'm going to be in a meme now before long.
Picked on by a seagull, like.
Yeah.
But didn't you say he was the same seagull as somebody else?
No, it was weirdly enough. I'd seen a video of a seagull snatching something off someone, and it was the exact same spot that happened to me. So there's this barred fence in Tembe. It was exact same spot, so it could potentially be the same seagull for all I know.
Steven
Bastard,
Seagull.
like absolute bastard.
Steven Seagull.
There we are. Like Alex Lee is a veggie ones. Wonder it didn't bring it back to you. Well, that's what I was thinking. I thought the joke was on him because to see. I don't know. So that's the one. There we are. That's the one. There he is, man.
We were?
Yeah, it is.
No.
Do you remember those railings there?
Yeah, I do, but that's not where we were.
Vaguely.
Isn't it? Oh, okay.
No.
Oh well, you could have just gone along with it. Just for could have gone along with it.
In a video of the seagull attacking the guy in Tembe.
I thought that was it. See.
Yeah, it might be. I'm sure I've seen I think that was the image from like a a clip from a video. I've seen it on Facebook or something where, or it might have been another town, because there's a few towns at the moment that they say that they're attacking everyone there. It's proper Alfred Hitchcock with the birds. They're brutal. Even like if kids got chips, like a cone of chips, they'll
yeah, well, I was sort of like warning everyone then when they were walking around with their trays of chips. I was like, careful, careful, careful.
On seagull
on the loose, yeah. Seagull, please.
Here we go. Here we go. Look at this.
I wasn't. It's not the same. It's not the same spot. Then it looked like the same spot.
That's opposite the pub we were in.
Yeah, keep watching this now because I seen it on Facebook and I was just like, "What? That can't be real."
Here we go.
There he goes. Ooh, have it. I love you.
I do that.
Bastard.
Lucky mate. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you're never gonna win against the seagull, man.
He's gonna go back and get another one, is he? Yeah.
Tamping.
Yeah.
That's what I was laughing yesterday.
Oh,
there
was talking of seagulls. There was footage, right? I don't know if anyone else has seen it of a seagull walking into a co-op, disappearing into the shop as someone's filming from the front. Comes out with a frigging sandwich in his mouth.
Yes, I seen that.
Yeah.
What?
He waits for the doors to open. He goes in,
Yeah,
but then he's too light. He can't get back out. And a woman steps to open the doors. He's got it. I can't believe he's got it.
This is the one.
Yeah.
Look at this now. He's like,
there's old Stephen over there now.
He's quite henchman. He must bench like, I know.
Come on, having a little look around. Oh, he's picking.
I'll have a meal deal, please, Chief.
Oh, sandwiches I saw.
There he is. Look.
Sandwich now.
Ready salted. Happy days.
Yeah, good choice. I don't
try open remember.
Fucking have it.
There we are. See, he's in.
This is the one. No, it's not
look at this.
See Dave now.
That's the seagull, Dave. That's the one.
It's the same one.
He loves Greg's. Going straight for the vegan sausage roll.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
It's not the many guys, eh?
That bloke chasing him out. Like you can do anything about it.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do nothing.
We could do from the police.
Yeah.
What's this? A sandwich? No. Oh, fucking hell. What's he got? Yeah, they love. Oh, it's Doritos, that one.
They like a bag of crisps, don't they? The old, yeah.
Just witnessed the crime.
Yeah.
There he is, man. Always crisps.
Oh, he got some speed as well, haven't he? Jesus Christ.
Look at that. Stand in.
Brilliant.
Oh, it's
I love what
Brilliant.
you in it, like.
You got to admire the audacity, haven't you? You got to hand it to him, you know.
But they're starving, love him.
Imagine being the store manager in there. We're gonna have to get security. We're gonna have to get security.
Well, your inventory's all over the shop. We need to do something about this.
Yeah.
Down 15 packs of crisps.
It's almost like that guy who did that prank call, wasn't it, with the pigeons? The bloody seagulls down here, like Falco.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh man, you got to hand it to him. You got to hand it to him. I love animals, so if I see you again, you're fucking dead, Mr. Seagull.
Fabulous. Perfect time to say, guys. Like I said, the beer is now launched. If you go over to Tembi, what's the web address? Tembibrewery.com. Is that's it?
It's at the bottom there. Tembibrewing.com. Tembibrewing Co. Tembibrewingco.com. I'm sure it'll pop up in the comments again, so you can just click the link. But go on the website, have a little scout about, and order our beer, order a few others as well. Give them a try because they're really, really good, really good.
Yeah, and don't forget the sauce. You can find all of that on our website, www.thosedamncrows.com, where everything up to date. If any rescheduled shows, you can catch it there. Crow Fitness, which I was talking about earlier, you've got direct links to everything beer. It'll take you to all the links everywhere. It's all in one place, easy to navigate. www.thosedamncrows.com. Now, sadly, we didn't know Shiner weren't able to join us tonight. Otherwise, I would have had a great graphic for this. So we're going to hand it over now to the last word from Lloyd. It's no one-liner Shiner tonight. It's the last word from Lloyd. Take it away, Lloydwood.
It's not about the process, it's about the result.
Not bad, boyo. Not bad at all.
Yeah, not bad.
I was
Well
waiting
done,
for Shine
brother.
to pop up then and go, I did that on
Really?
week 3.
You better fucking not.
Fantastic. As always, thank you guys for all your continued support. We love you. We thank you for watching CrowCast episode 61 with Brian Tatler. And hope you will join us next week. We will do it all again on CrowCast episode 62. Until next week, Crow family, stay safe and look after each other.
I'm not giving up. I'm not